First of all, massive thank you to Pubg New State for sponsoring this video. So, ladies and gents, welcome back to another Pubg New State video. This one has been highly requested by you, and that is my settings within the game. So I'm going to talk about the graphics, frame rate, and then also moving on to the HUD. But please bear in mind, this HUD is going to be only for 4 fingers, 5 and 6 finger players. But ladies and gents, drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out Pubg New State and download the link in the description down below. Alright then, ladies and gents, make sure that you're logged into Pubg New State. That's step number 1. So if you haven't downloaded it, make sure you download it in the description down below. But head over to the settings tab and down to graphics. Right, so some of these options may not be available for you depending on what device you're using. So for performance frame rate, make sure that is on the maximum that you can put it on. So if it's only on high, then make sure that that's the max. If you can go to very high, choose that. Ultra, choose that. Max, if you've got that, fantastic. Choose that option. Because frame rate will literally be a lifesaver for you, so you got no stuttering within the game. But please bear in mind, if any heating problems or if your phone glitches or lags, then you can turn it down. Graphics, I like to keep this on light. Yes, it makes the game look a bit bleh, but it gives you a huge advantage over the enemies. You get to see a little bit further. You get to see through the environment, so the environment colors don't just like camouflage people if they're trying to snake. It's definitely the option you want to go for. Anti-aliasing then is always on for me, but again, this varies on your device. I've got it on because I do like to have low graphics, but also that smoothness to them, so they don't look so pixelated. But then moving on to brightness, I like to keep this between 100 to 125. Usually I have it around about the 115 mark. It just allows you to see a little bit further into those shadows in case somebody is camping at the top of the stairs or in a cupboard. Then screen filter, I like mine standard. I don't think that the other 3 options are even necessary. They make it a lot harder to spot enemies from distances. Graphics API, now this is the most important part of this whole entire video. Make sure you choose OpenGL SES. You don't want to be using Vulkan. This device that I'm using right here is actually one of the world's most powerful gaming devices for mobile gaming, and even Vulkan struggles on this device. It can cause crashes, and it can cause a lot of other options. But if it does work for you, then I don't see why you need to change it. But personal preference from me, just use the OpenGL section because it just runs a lot better and you get more frame rate in my opinion. And then of course camera view, wide and wide, because you want that nice wide field of view, which allows you to see a lot more of what you're staring at in a straight line. So if somebody comes from the edge of your screen, you're going to be able to see them a lot quicker if you've got it on wide rather than standard. Right, okay, moving on to gameplay then, ladies and gents. This is literally all down to you. I'm just gonna literally scroll through them so you can pause the video at any point, but these are my options right here. This is personal preference. Over onto controls then. Now this is a little bit more into detail. Again, like I mentioned at the start of the video, make sure that you're either using 4, 5 or 6 fingers for this HUD setup. Option 1 is what you want, and this is my HUD. So take a screenshot now, guys, but I'm not going to really kind of go over it too much. But basically, when you're holding a phone like this, you've got your crouch, prone and jump button either with your index finger or your middle finger, so it's stretched up there, and you're leaving your 2 thumbs like literally in so much freedom for movement. You're not clicking any buttons by mistake. And then of course you got your weapons down the bottom, your reload, your grenades and your meds. So this HUD right here does work a treat. It may take some time to get used to, but believe me, put the hours into the game, get used to this HUD, because this HUD is what I use on all games, especially like Apex Legends Mobile. Yes, there may not be as many buttons, but it's a HUD that really does fit fast play, quick reaction time gameplay. And then moving down then to the action buttons then in controls. Again, it is all down to personal preference, but I find that these work the best. Parkour on combined jump button, so you don't add too many buttons to your screen. The peek option, you're going to want this on tap, because you don't really want to be holding it or long pressing your peek. You want to be able to quickly, snap onto people. Automatically switch to scope mode when peeking. I've got that on. Main reason I've got that on is because I only rarely use it when I want to snap onto people. If I want to use it going around a corner, all it does is kind of zoom in, peek. All you got to do is press that zoom in button once and you stay peeked but unzoomed. So it doesn't really make a difference. Roll, again, double tap crouch button to eliminate having too many buttons on your HUD. Gyroscope, I do not play gyroscope, guys. So that is up to you if you want to put that on. Scope and shoulder mode, separate buttons. That's the only one I actually do recommend having a separate button for. Shoulder, tap, scope mode, tap. And then drag controls all disabled because you do not want any drags. Aim assist, this is entirely up to you. I do prefer disabled, but if you're playing like third person, enabled will be better. But first person, or even in third person when you zoom in, having aim assist turned off will benefit you a lot more than having it enabled. Just in case there's two targets close together, you'll be snapping between both of them if you've got it on enabled, which you don't want. Single burst mode, auto fire, tap and hold fire button. Auto shoulder weapon disabled. Shotgun firing mode, tap. Sniper, tap. Auto pull pins disabled. And horizontal camera acceleration enabled. Moving on to vehicle then, ladies and gents. Mine are pretty much standard, except for obviously the bike being up the top, because I get to use my index or my middle finger for those. So nothing really fancy there, guys. Moving on to sensitivity. You guys are going to be very shocked with me when I actually tell you my sensitivity settings. I actually play on medium. Default medium. I have not changed one single setting in here. Why? Because PUBG New State has different sensitivity settings to other mobile games. So medium is actually like having high on any other game. But again, this is all personal preference. But if you can get used to a nice fast sensitivity, this allows you to have a lot more freedom, especially if you're getting shot in your buttocks. You can pretty much just jump around 180 and spot where they are a lot quicker than having a slower sensitivity. But again, go into the firing range and test your settings out. Pickup, guys, this is all personal preference. I'm not going to go through this with you. The one option that I will tell you to put on is, see the second option, stop auto pickup when list is collapsed. Disable that, because what you can do is when you're looting a body, you can get rid of the big box of loot on your screen and your player will already automatically, you know, pick it up. So especially if you're in a combat environment and you want to quickly loot, just go through their loot box really quickly without actually having a big bar across your screen. Because if an enemy is in front of you, you're more than likely not going to be able to see them because of the box. But ladies and gents, that is pretty much all of my settings, and I really hope that this video helps you out. And if it does, make sure that you drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. And also PUBG New State, again, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Go check them out, link in the description. Download now.